Final Fantasy VII Rebirth footage, gameplay, trailer, early 2024. So we were promised winter. And of course, that was going to be open to interpretation. And why wouldn't you push it as far as you could? So early 2024, exclusively on PlayStation 5 for now, at least. Published on 2 discs if you get it physically, which is interesting. This is all I need to see of the game. I don't want to see any more. And so anything else that they show about this game, I'm going to skip. And I got to say, I got goosebumps watching it.
Ooh.
Literal goosebumps. I was like, this looks incredible. The characters, the voice acting, seeing some of the sights and sounds, like when they're in, looked like they were in Cosmo Canyon at one point, and other things. I was like, this is awesome. I just absolutely can't wait. And even it's kind of funny because I don't even want to say it. I mean, I don't even want to say it. Like they seem to have spoiled something inherent about Final Fantasy VII Remake in the new trailer that, like, well, it's like, okay, I guess that's that then. I don't know if you know what I'm talking about.
Mm-hmm.
That would be different. That you would, if you've never played that, you would have, but you know the lore of Final Fantasy VII, you would have expected to be different. That's about as much as I want to say about that. But I think it looks really, really fun. I love Final Fantasy VII. Final Fantasy VII Remake was probably the biggest internal miss I ever had in recent memory, as far as games that I was like, this game is going to fucking suck. And I think it probably was until they fixed it. And halfway through development, they figured out what they were going to do. And what they ended up doing was making an essential version of Final Fantasy VII that's both its own version of Final Fantasy VII and a reimagination of what Final Fantasy VII was. And what's cool about the games and what's brilliant about the storytelling is that they both actually exist. And again, that's all I'll say about that too. But what do you think about Final Fantasy VII Rebirth? And do you agree with me that we have seen enough?
Yeah, I have definitely feel like I've seen enough. This trailer though, man, I loved how they did it. They showed some more about the open world. I love the beginning when they were showing the propaganda of them dying, the fakes dying and stuff like that was pretty cool. And then, man, I gotta say, I love seeing Tifa in the cowboy outfit. I've been wondering what Tifa, because they look so much better, in these remakes. And I always thought the cowboy outfit, it feels a little silly in a way, but I also think it's awesome. So I'm really excited about this game. Let's talk briefly though about this 2-disc thing, which I think is an interesting point, interesting way for them to say, hey, this game's big. It comes on 2 discs.
Yeah, definitely.
And this comes off of the recent release with Star Wars Jedi Survivor, where the disc, it was too big for the disc, so the disc is just an unlock. So apparently they're deciding we're not going to do that. We're actually going to release it on 2 discs.
I mean, it kills the purpose. I don't even understand the purpose of that, right? Like, why would you even buy the physical version at that point?
Do you want me to say the reasons again?
No, don't.
Okay.
It just, no matter what you say, it's not going to make any sense. Go ahead.
So the 2-disc thing is cool. It's gonna be a problem, man. These PS5s with their less than a terabyte storage, you would imagine this game. So each disc holds 100 gigs. So we're talking that this game is going to be up to 200 gigs. So I would imagine 125, 150 range, I think is a safe bet, but it could be more. So I would imagine when they do re-release the PlayStation 5, they got to put a bigger drive in it.
Well, I would assume that's probably a given, just based on pushing people towards not using a disk drive or making it optional means that you're just going to, by virtue of doing that, have to give people more space. Although I will reiterate, and I know I'm maybe an edge case, but I have never had problems with my storage on PS5 yet. And I say that as someone who always ran into storage problems on PS4, always. So I don't know what that's all about. Again, I think it's the way it deals with data packages and how you don't have to have twice as much space to download things and everything like you did on PS3 and PS4. So I think that that's a big part of why I don't run into barriers, but I'm just being dead honest. It also is the nature of the games I play. I play a lot of small games that are literally 500 megabytes or a gigabyte in size, but I also play your AAA games and all the rest. I don't know. I've not run into that issue yet. Just naturally have not run into it. But I've also not had my controllers break or anything like that either. So I think, these things happen for different people.
Yeah. I think I saw either someone sent us a message on Patreon or something recently that the NBA 2K, which I looked this up now, the PS5 version of the game is 143 gigs. And it might be more than that now.
Yeah, that's crazy. It's like, don't you want to clean up the package and make it as wouldn't that be part of accessing? You have to aim to the lowest common denominator. You're assuming that someone is either on slow internet or that they have bandwidth limits and you want to kind of treat that with respect or whatever. You just want to make it as small as possible, right? Or is there argument this is as small as it can be? It seems insane. What could possibly be in that game that requires so much?
Yeah.
It's basketball.
Well, that's the thing is that this is those are the type of games that people like to keep on their console all the time. So maybe someone has that installed and they have Call of Duty, and you're already looking at over
half your space.
Well, let's see, 33, more than a third of your hard drive being full. I'm trying to think, because if there's less than 800 gigs, it's like in 700 something weird, and both of those games are 100, 150 each, then you're looking at 300 gigs. So you're looking at more, almost half filled. So anyway, back to Final Fantasy VII. I thought it was funny about this whole the 2-disc thing in a very much digital era. Now that was the way they were able to say, hey, is a big boy.
Yeah, she's a big beefy boy, and also returns to the heritage of Final Fantasy on PlayStation with its multi-disc games. That was, for a lot of people, their only multi-disc games were Final Fantasy games, or their first introduction to multi-disc games was a Final Fantasy game. So there's a little bit of a member berry there.
Yeah, and the first remake was also 2 discs, but that was on a different Blu-ray drive that was, I think those were 25 gigs a piece, 25 or 50 maybe. So just goes to show that this game, either the assets are a lot higher quality, it's a lot bigger, or both.
And, well, I'm excited, man.
Yeah, me too.
Goosebump worthy. Can't wait. And Final Fantasy 16 is like almost here. It's just, God, what is everyone complaining about? I don't understand what you're complaining about. I'm excited about this. I think that it was a really good showcase, really well done, stronger than the PlayStation showcase, no doubt about it in my mind. And I think a real emphasis on gameplay, which was cool. I mean, that's a big answer to a lot of people's qualms and complaints, and I understand that completely. So they rode heavily on showing gameplay, even gameplay we've seen before, and I think that's a strong showing for Jeff Keighley. So congratulations to him, and well done. Do you have any closing comments before we dip back into the show as it was?
Closing comments, just because I had my Twitter up. Apparently the Persona 3 remake accidentally got posted to Atlas's own Instagram, but let's just say we'll save that for next week. I know it's out there, and a Persona Tactics game as well.
Oh yeah, Persona 5 Tactica launches November 17th.
More Persona 5. That's what more Persona 5 spinoffs.
Yeah, well let's do it right the next time.
Yeah, let's do it right. But
I want to see this Tactics. Wow. That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
That's a great idea. I don't know why I never thought of that.
Yeah.
You know, that's why
Tactics. Why not?
Square Enix is not going to do it.
No.
They will, though. They're going to do it too.